Mining Industry by Gonzalo Ulloa Terán.
100 lectures of the mining process.
Cyber threats to the mining industry.
Cyber threats to the mining industry. Trend Micro legal disclaimer. The information provided herein is for general information and educational purposes only. It is not intended and should not be construed to constitute legal advice. The information contained herein may not be applicable to all situations and may not reflect the most current situation. Nothing contained herein should be relied on or acted upon without the benefit of legal advice based on the particular facts and circumstances presented, and nothing herein should be construed otherwise. Trend Micro reserves the right to modify the contents of this document at any time without prior notice. Translations of any material into other languages are intended solely as a convenience. Translation accuracy is not guaranteed nor implied. If any questions arise related to the accuracy of a translation, please refer to the original language official version of the document. Any discrepancies or differences created in the translation are not binding and have no legal effect for compliance or enforcement purposes. Although Trend Micro uses reasonable efforts to include accurate and up-to-date information herein, Trend Micro makes no warranties or representations of any kind as to its accuracy, currency, or completeness. You agree that access to and use of and reliance on this document and the content thereof is at your own risk. Trend Micro disclaims all warranties of any kind, express or implied. Neither Trend Micro nor any party involved in creating, producing, or delivering this document shall be liable for any consequence, loss, or damage, including direct, indirect, special, consequential, loss of business profits, or special damages, whatsoever arising out of access to, use of, or inability to use, or in connection with the use of this document, or any errors or omissions in the content thereof. Use of this information constitutes acceptance for use in an as-is condition. The mining industry is under threat from cyber attacks aimed at exploiting its strategic position in global supply chains. Early in our explorations within this sector, we discovered that the risks and opportunities for exploitation are very large, yet there seems to be extreme reluctance in talking about it. What we are dealing with here are very targeted and coordinated cyber attacks launched by a broad set of attacker groups ranging from hacktivists to hostile governments and organized criminals that on the one hand have learned how to leverage the significant role that mining commodities play in regional and global supply chains and for national economies, and b. on the other hand are exploiting the vulnerabilities that mining companies are exposed to due to heavy reliance on integrated and automated systems. In today's competitive global market for commodities and manufactured goods, the reliance on natural resources for economic development and fluctuating geopolitical climates have all contributed to making industries targets for cyber espionage campaigns, and in extreme cases disruptive and destructive cyber attacks. These cyber espionage campaigns are geared towards ensuring interest groups access to the latest technical knowledge and intelligence so they can maintain competitive advantage and thrive in a market-driven global economy. Cyber campaigns are also used for conducting carefully planned strategic or retaliatory cyber attacks against a nation's critical infrastructure. Cyber espionage attack campaigns are best understood when examined in the context of an example industry that faces cyber attacks daily. In this paper we study a commodity-centric global player, the mining industry. The mining industry is one of the oldest surviving industries and is directly tied to the development of modern civilization over many millennia. By examining modern mining industry practices, daily operations, production, logistics, automation, information technology, and communications, challenges faced, and future prospects, we can identify vulnerable gaps that may exist, find out why these gaps exist, and how cybercriminals are taking advantage of these gaps to attack the mining industry. A noteworthy observation made while studying the mining industry was that the majority of the cyber attacks against mining companies were espionage campaigns attempting to steal intellectual property and other proprietary information, and very few destructive attacks. This research paper sets out from explaining how different industries have become viable targets for a broad set of cyber actors, and looks at the mining industry as a prime case of an industry that is starting to deal with this type of threat. The mining industry is expansive. Therefore, the focus of this paper is to examine aspects of the mining industry that are relevant to cyber espionage and attack campaigns, and understand what the different types of actors are intent on gaining from such activity. We will not look at any specific act campaigns, but examine potential damages industry-targeted cyber espionage attack campaigns can wreak and their consequences for the business at large. We leave the detail-oriented considerations in the hands of IT security professionals who work in the mining industry, and round up this paper with a few recommendations for baseline defensive strategies.
Industrial controls under attack. Cyber attacks targeting different industries. News about cyber attacks targeting different industries is becoming more and more commonplace, much like daily news stories about data breaches. Advanced Persistent Threat (APT) campaigns such as Black Energy, originally pure industrial espionage campaigns, have been repurposed to cause physical impact by attacking and damaging industrial assets. Black Energy and another APT campaign, Sandworm, were discovered as the likely perpetrators behind outages at two power generation facilities in Ukraine in December 2015. Black Energy and Killdisk were discovered in attempted similar cyber attacks against a mining company and a large railway operator also in Ukraine. This shows that Black Energy has evolved from being just an energy sector problem to a threat applicable to organizations in all sectors.
Figure 1. Overlap between sectors, campaigns, malware, and C&C servers. Victims of cyber attacks tend to not publicly disclose that they were attacked. In part this is because there is no legal requirement for disclosure, but also due to other dissuasive factors such as negative effect on company stock prices or company reputation, decline in short-term sales, etc. The Black Energy case shows that apps are now not only penetrating deeper inside organizations but can actually be weaponized to cause asset damage. At risk is the entire supply chain of the targeted organization: raw materials, manufacturing and production, logistics, inventory, distribution, etc. A cyber attack against any part of the supply chain is easily able to cause substantial asset, capacity, and monetary damage to the organization. The new reality of weaponized apps is something that can no longer be ignored. Looking back at past campaigns, we can trace a broad spectrum of different actors, from hacktivists to nation-state actors, business competitors and criminal syndicates that all have varying and sometimes overlapping interests. These campaigns have targeted a variety of industries as well, ranging from data and intelligence theft, Red October, deletion of data on hard drives in energy facilities, Shamoon, to disruption of nuclear facilities, Stuxnet, and most recently, disruptive attacks against power generation facilities, Black Energy. Why are industries vulnerable? Cyber attacks are not an exclusive IT problem. They have a deep impact on daily business operations such as operational shutdowns, equipment damage, reputation damage, financial loss, intellectual property loss, competitive advantage loss, health and safety risks, etc. The classic modus operandi and primary goal for cybercriminals has been the theft of money, financial information, and PII in the past, and not surprisingly this first affected the financial sector. Today's cybercriminals, however, are evolving not only in terms of their technical ability and sophistication but are increasingly understanding the value of stolen sensitive data from all kinds of sectors in monetizing it and influencing business dynamics. As an example, one group stole market-sensitive information from 100+ companies, while another group stole pre-release information from financial newswires. In both cases, the stolen information was traded for profits in the stock market. Point 4. Another recent trend is the rise of extortive cyber attacks against organizations using ransomware and DDoS, distributed denial of service, attacks against IT infrastructure. The deep web marketplace and underground forums together form a massive virtual organized crime group. They allow criminals with limited technical knowledge to purchase malware, bulletproof hosting services, technical support, expertise, money laundering services, etc. 5. Cybercrime has moved from being a niche business to mainstream activity and has greatly increased the threat against organizations. One of the central weaknesses found throughout different industries is the way operations are set up and increasing levels of centralization. Operational technology, OT, is hardware and software that detects or causes a change through direct monitoring and/or control of physical devices, processes, and events in the enterprise. To be competitive in the market-driven global economy, organizations need a better overview of the supply chain. This need for a better view of the supply chain is reflected in the shift towards greater integration, visibility, and intelligence within and amongst the OT production control systems and IT that companies use to manage their critical assets, logistics, planning, and operations. The convergence of OT and IT is exactly what allows greater access to two components that are prime targets for cybercriminals. In many organizations, OT infrastructure is at best poorly protected against cyber attacks. They are secured with IT solutions that are ill-adapted to legacy control systems such as supervisory control and data acquisition, SCADA. In addition to that, new and emerging technologies such as cloud computing, big data analytics, and Internet of Things, IoT, have made security challenges faced by today's organizations more complex and more critical. Simply put, centralization introduces new and unknown vulnerabilities into the cyber ecosystem. But ultimately, the centralization of business functions across the supply chain is driven by cost rationalizations that seem to outweigh the risks. This thought process will have to change in light of cyber risks. Industrial control and automation systems and their pitfalls. To compete in today's market-driven global economy, businesses need to have efficient production processes to reduce costs, increase output, and improve quality. The solution is automation. Automation improves workplace safety, reduces operational costs, brings production consistency, increases production capacity, increases the level of control at each stage of production, limits operational variance, improves precision, allows for accurate process modeling, etc. For these reasons, automation of industrial systems has been steadily gaining momentum, helping businesses become competitive global players. Most industrial control systems, ICS, in use today were developed decades ago. With new requirements for corporate connectivity and remote access, ICS has been adopting IT solutions for ease of integration and reduced development costs. The operational priorities for ICS are integrity, ensuring that correct commands are issued, availability, limiting interruptions, and confidentiality, protecting the data. The operational priorities for IT systems are confidentiality, protecting the data, integrity, ensuring that correct commands are issued, and availability, limiting interruptions. IT administrators need to manage two different systems, ICS and IT, with conflicting operational priorities, IAC versus CIA. ICS was originally designed with performance, reliability, safety, and flexibility in mind and to operate in isolated environments. With ICS incorporating everyday IT solutions, network connectivity, and different operational priorities, it has introduced a whole new set of exploitable vulnerabilities. In FY 2015, ICS-CERT responded to 295 cyber incidents, a 20% increase over FY 2014. 9 attacks against the critical manufacturing sector nearly doubled to a record 97 incidents. The energy sector was the second most targeted with 46 incidents, and the water and wastewater systems sector was third with 25 incidents. Malware and targeted cyber attacks are not the only causes of ICS disruptions. Operator error, system failures, and software bugs also contribute to ICS disruptions. The Stuxnet worm attacked and damaged ICS in 5 industrial facilities in Iran that were suspected of enriching uranium. The attacks were speculated to have originated from nation-states that wanted to deter Iran's nuclear ambitions. While this was not the first cyber attack against ICS, it was the first to infect a programmable logic controller. The attack against Iran's secretive nuclear program made Stuxnet a widely reported news story. The Stuxnet incident brought ICS security considerations to the forefront and demonstrated just how vulnerable industries are in the face of targeted attacks against their ICS environments. The mining industry. Introduction to the mining industry. The mining of metals was a key driver in the advancement of civilization and is used as a yardstick measure of progress. The world is rapidly becoming urbanized with more people relocating to cities. This urban migration has increased the demand for basic infrastructure such as roads, houses, schools, etc. Furthermore, wealth generation in urban centers has increased the demand for everyday essentials such as consumer appliances, cars, computers, etc. With urbanization comes a greater demand for metals and minerals, particularly base metals like iron, copper, and aluminium. Modern society's existence depends on the products of mines. Stone Age 700,000 BC Paleolithic 10,000 BC Mesolithic from 4,500 BC to 2,300 BC Neolithic. Bronze Age from 2,300 BC to 700 BC Iron Age from 700 BC to 43 AD. In the United States, mining is considered an essential or primary industry but not a critical infrastructure sector. The critical infrastructure sectors are those whose assets, systems, and networks, whether physical or virtual, are considered so vital that their incapacitation or destruction would have a debilitating effect on security, national economic security, national public health or safety, or any combination thereof. Primary metal manufacturing such as iron and steel mills, ferroalloy, alumina, aluminium oxide, and aluminium, and non-ferrous metals are part of critical infrastructure. The mining industry supplies them with processed metal concentrates. The question of whether the mining industry is a critical infrastructure or not is debatable in the energy sector. In countries like Canada and Venezuela, oil sands are surface mined, processed, and converted into petroleum products. Mines producing oil sands are thus part of the critical infrastructure of those countries. Modern mining operations. Mining operations comprise two major activities. 1. Mining, ore extraction. 2. Mineral processing, upgrading and recovering metals and/or minerals from ores. Modern mining companies do more than dig a hole in the ground to excavate rocks and process them to extract metals and minerals. The modern mining company is a transnational corporation running highly coordinated production operations across multiple sites, in multiple countries with varied geopolitical climates, all the while responding to the supply and demand needs of a market-driven global economy. The following diagram provides a high-level overview of the modern mining company. Mining Company Headquarters. Regional Office, Remote Operations Center 1. Regional Office, Remote Operations Center 2. Regional Office, Remote Operations Center 3. Mineral Processing Facility 1 Mine 2. Mine 3. Mineral Processing Facility 2. Mineral Processing Facilities 3. Mine 4. Mine 5. Mine 6 Mineral Processing Facility 4. Transportation rail, road, water or air. In this constructed example, the mining company operates 6 mines of varying sizes and production capacities, in 3 international locations, A, C, and D. Mines 1, 2, and 3 produce iron ore, mines 4 and 5 produce copper, and mine 6 produces gold. The mining company also operates 4 mineral processing facilities in 3 locations. The mineral processing facilities don't need to be located at the mining sites and are typically built-in central locations that can aggregate feeds from multiple mines. 2 of the mineral processing facilities, 3 and 4, are located in the same vicinity as the mines they serve, while the remaining 2, 1 and 2, are located some distance away from the mines. The mines crush the excavated ore rocks and rail transports them to the mineral processing facilities. Processed metal or mineral concentrates are transported from the processing facilities to the customers via rail, road, water, or air depending on the type, demand, and volume of the final product, e.g., uncut gem quality diamonds are transported by air to diamond cutting facilities. A regional office, located in a nearby urban center, oversees the operations of each location. Regional offices also house the Remote Operations Center, ROC, to manage equipment at the sites. Regional offices communicate with the corporate headquarters and with each other to coordinate production and other functions. Developing a mine. Selecting and developing a mining site is a long and expensive process that involves exploration, discovery, feasibility studies, and construction. The following value chain diagram shows all the stages of project development starting from conception to the end of life of a mine. Figure 4. Stages of mine development. corporate vision, management selection, exploration, discovery, target definition, resource definition, pre-feasibility, reserve definition, feasibility, project construction, commissioning, pre-production gap, production gap, steady state production, declining production potential, closure, environmental rehabilitation, increasing project value, investment risk, figure 4, stages of mine development. Mining companies invest billions of dollars every year exploring potential new mining sites in the hopes of hitting pay dirt, i.e., discover an ore-rich area that can be successfully mined. Technological improvements have made exploration more accurate and include geophysical exploration methods such as gravimetric, magnetic, electrical resistivity, induced polarization, self-potential, electromagnetic, coil sensors, superconductive quantum interference device sensors, radioactive, seismic, and remote sensing techniques. The exploration phase generates big data sets that geologists analyze to identify new ore deposit locations. The exploration data is very expensive to generate and is key to the company's future growth and success, which makes this data a lucrative target for cyber espionage campaigns. The mining industry is moving towards low-grade, super-large, high-tonnage, and ultra-mechanized operations. This is partly because high-grade, high-quality ore sites are being depleted or are cost-prohibitive to mine. Advancements in technology and the production process have improved yields from lower-grade ores, which ultimately makes mines profitable over their lifetimes. This has turned smaller mining operations economically unfeasible, leading to closures, mergers, and takeovers. The fundamental source of a mine's value is its potential ore reserve. Ore reserve and production data are targets in cyber espionage campaigns, especially when a merger or takeover bid is in the works. The goal is to deflate the mine's value if possible, or to collect insider information and mount a successful bid. From the start of exploration until the new mine becomes operational roughly takes 10 years. On average, it takes another 10 years of production before the initial investment is recovered, after which the mine starts generating profit. The high capital cost and long lifetime of a mining operation leads to lower rates of technological changes. This means mining operations are using equipment and communications protocols that are vulnerable to crippling cyber attacks because standards and equipment upgrades are deemed unnecessary for continued production. A mining company in British Columbia, Canada privately told us that downtime in their mines costs them north of $6,000 per minute, and the general managers in charge of operating the mines will not allow any downtime that will affect production. Everyday mining operations. The modern-day mine is a hive of activity. The basic operations of a mine can be summarized as 1. Drilling blast holes in the rock. 2. Controlled detonation of the rock. 3. Excavating and loading the blasted rock. 4. Hauling the excavated rock to the rock crushing facility. 5. Crushing and transporting the ore rock to a mineral processing facility. Everyday mining operations. The modern-day mine is a hive of activity. The basic operations of a mine can be summarized as 1. Drilling blast holes in the rock. 2. Controlled detonation of the rock. 3. Excavating and loading the blasted rock. 4. Hauling the excavated rock to the rock crushing facility. 5. Crushing and transporting the ore rock to a mineral processing facility. The following diagram gives an operational overview of an open pit mine. Underground mines have similar operations. Figure 5 open pit mine system overview. 1 drill, 2 blast, 3 load, 4 haul, 5 crush. Major equipment used in mines include heavy haulers, drag lines, loaders, backhoes, scrapers, water trucks, drills, wheel dozers, graders, mining shovels, production conveyor belts, etc. Production operation mines use 4 major utilities to run: electricity, water, diesel, and compressed air. Electricity is crucial to a mining operation. A typical mineral processing facility and mine uses 120 megawatts of electricity for a 100,000 t.d. metric tons per day operation. Major considerations for electricity usage are expected size of the mine, anticipated potential expansion, types of equipment to be used, haulage methods to be used, available power from the utility company, and the amount of capital investment for the electrical system. Mines will also have power generation facilities on site to supplement the power needs and to act as backup in case the main power supply is disrupted. The following diagram shows electricity distribution in an open pit mine. Figure 6. Open with mine ring mine radio power distribution system. From utility, substation, ultimate pit limit, overhead line, main ring, poles. From utility or subtransmission, substation, internal, shovel, pumps, drill, disconnect switch, feeder lines, cable, disconnect switch, drop point, breaker skid. Major equipment in a mine that operates on electricity include large autonomous and semi-autonomous grinding mills, ball mill drives, conveyor belts, high-pressure grinding rollers, cyclone feed pumps, mine hoists, dragline excavators, crushers, shovels, bucket wheel and bucket chain excavators. A steady electricity supply is the lifeblood of the modern mine. We have seen apt campaigns like Black Energy weaponized and targeting a mining company and power generation facilities in Ukraine. Any serious disruption to the power supply resulting from a cyber attack or other reasons will effectively take the mining operation offline. The on-site power generation facilities are designed to provide backup power to essential equipment only for short periods of time. Compressed air is used extensively in mining operations. Compressed air is stored energy and when controlled can be used for production purposes. It also has beneficial features such as being safer to use in certain situations, cleaner than other forms of energy, and easier to work with. Energy from compressed air is used to operate pneumatic equipment and pneumatic tools. Mining equipment that uses compressed air includes pneumatic drills, air motors, instrumentation, etc. Water is used in the mining industry for the extraction of minerals that may be in the form of solids, such as coal, iron, sand, and gravel, liquids, such as crude petroleum, and gases, such as natural gas. Diesel is used throughout the mine to operate equipment such as haulers, trucks, dozers, drills, scrapers, shovels, backhoes, etc. Any disruptions to the supply chains of any of these major utilities resulting from a cyber attack or other reasons will effectively take the mining operation offline. The supply chain for the 4 major utilities forms part of the Achilles heel of any mining operation. Mineral processing. The ultimate goal of mining is to yield metals, minerals in their purest form. Mineral processing facilities don't need to be located at the mining sites and are typically built in central locations that can aggregate feeds from multiple mines. The mines crush the excavated ore rocks and transport them to the mineral processing facility. Processed metal, mineral concentrates are transported from the processing facility to the customers via rail, road, water, or air depending on the type, demand, and volume of the final product. The following diagram shows a high-level overview of the steps involved in metal extraction from ores at the King Copper Gold Project. Processing routes can be different, and more than one route is possible for many metals, e.g., in the extraction of copper or gold from low-grade ores, heap or dump leaching is commonly used. The extraction process is optimized to achieve the highest possible recovery yield from the ores while maintaining acceptable purity, grade. Customers will further treat the concentrate to purify the metals, minerals. Unit operations in mineral processing include size reduction, the process of crushing and grinding the ores to liberate valuable minerals from the ore, increase surface area for high reactivity, and to facilitate the transport of ore particles between unit operations. Size separation, crushed and ground products are classified by particle size. Screens are used for coarse particulate sizing, cyclones are used for fine particles. Concentration, physiochemical properties of minerals and other solids are used in the concentration operation and include froth flotation, gravity concentration, and magnetic and electrostatic concentration. Dewatering, most mineral processing operations are done in the presence of water. Solids must be separated from water for metal production. This is done with thickeners and filters. Aqueous dissolution, many metals are recovered from ores by dissolving the desired metals in a process known as leaching with various lixiviates in the presence of oxygen. Following leaching, the dissolved metals can be concentrated by carbon absorption, ion exchange, or solvent extraction. Purified and concentrated metals may be recovered from solution using reduction techniques like cementation and electrowinning. Mineral processing is a complex industrial process involving numerous autonomous and semi-autonomous steps controlled by ICS and is designed to achieve maximum yield from the ores. Mineral processing facilities thus face all the inherent cybersecurity risks associated with ICS.